Rockeyez would like to welcome Allison, Roses Unread. So, how you doing today, Allison?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
Very good, very good. Tell me a little bit about the background of the band.
Roses Unread's been together since 2007. Actually, my husband and I are the founders of the band, and we met in two different bands, probably in about, I think it was 2005, and he was in a band and I was in a band, and we were kind of playing a lot of shows together in, like, the Mississippi and Tennessee area. And those two bands split apart, broke apart, and after that, we kind of just started talking and actually started dating before we formed Roses Unread. And we both were like, well, we kind of missed this whole band thing, how about we start one? Because we both kind of had the same vision. We wanted, like, really raw, heavy music with, catchy melodies you can sing along to. And so we put this vision in action and, formed Roses Unread in 2007. And, we've been going strong since then. So it's been a crazy ride.
Cool, cool. Now, how'd you come up with the name?
Roses Unread, we actually had a name before that, and we had to change it. And I was like, darn, everybody knew us by this one name. Now we got to change it. Nobody really knows, who we are. We got a lot to offer, a lot to show, but it's like we got to change our name now. What do we do? So I was, brainstorming, and I was like, Roses Unread. Okay, you would think of a rose as being, a red color, but to me we're different. So we did the play on words, spelled it R-E-A-D, just because I feel like we're a different type of band because, we have the heavy music and I sing. So it's not something you see a lot of. I mean, it is out there, but it's very rare. So, we were kind of rare and different like that. So, we spelled the name different, but it also has a meaning like an unread book.
Right.
We had a lot to offer, a lot to show, but nobody had really read us or opened us up yet. So, and then you can kind of think of like a rose blooming too. It hasn't fully, shown itself. So when we had to change the name, it kind of fit perfectly because it was, it was like more of a personal thing. So that's kind of, the background of the name.
Right. Now, you had two prior releases until this new self-titled release came out. How was the reception on both of them first two CDs?
We had different members at the time, actually on pretty much both the CDs. We had, on the first CD, we had a different drummer than we did on the second CD. And, we kind of stuck with that same lineup with both of those CDs. But for this third album, pretty much we, lost our bass player and added another guitar player. So we were, we were a five-piece and we were a four-piece for a while. And then added the other guitar player and a new bass player. So this album's a lot different than the other two because of the whole member switch thing, and our guitar player, our new guitar player Blake, he brought a lot of ideas, and our other guitar player John had a lot of ideas too, and they kind of just took what they had, and Blake would put stuff with John's parts, and John would put stuff with Blake's parts, and that pretty much came to the album. And there's only like one song on there that really they sat down and wrote together, and that was our single "Blind Leads Blind." So this one's very different from the other ones, and I think we kind of found ourselves with this new one.
Right. Now, I listened to the CD today, and, it seems like it had a lot of diversity from, typical rock, and then you got a little bit heavier with a little bit of growling on a couple songs. You feel that's the perfect sound for the band at this time?
We really just, we don't really set how we want something to sound. It just kind of comes out, we really don't have a way we're going to envision it. It just kind of happens. It's always like the final product of what we do is always a surprise. And it's not, I don't want to say, okay, we want to write a song like this, let's go for it. It just kind of happens. So, it's what we know, and it's really, our only a writing process we know how to do. So, if anything, I'm happy with it because it's, true to who we are. We don't try to say, hey, let's make a song that kind of sounds like this one, or, I really like this band. But you can tell our influences come out in us, but we don't mean for that to happen.
Right. Now, both of the first CDs were self-released and financed. Is it difficult for a band to, break into the music business?
Yeah, I think it is, and you have to, promote as much as you can to get it out there. Like, today, I've been working. I have a full-time job, and I come home, and it's like, well, I don't get a break. I have to get online. I'm promoting that way. On the weekends we go out and we hand out flyers. I mean, and where we are, the scene's kind of died out, so it's very hard for us to just get anybody to come out to shows just because they'd rather be going to karaoke bars or doing other things, going to movies and all kinds of stuff. And some people just they sit home, but just because financial, just problems at home and stuff. So it's very hard, and we go out almost every weekend before we have like a really close show and hand out flyers and talk to people, make connections with them. Because if you don't, it's just okay. We're like, hey, there's this cool band Roses Unread, but I've never really heard of them. Some people will go check out music online, but not a lot will. So if you go face to face and you talk to them, they're gonna remember you. So to me, it is hard, but if you put an effort, it can happen.
Right. Now, during the day, you're a second grade teacher?
Yes.
All right. So what do the kids think about you singing?
Well, I actually we had a show in Brownsville. I think it was about a week ago. And I had a two come out, and they saw me sing, and in the hallway the other day, one of my kids said, "Hey, Miss Rockstar," and I just shook my head at them, and just kind of like laughed about it for a minute, and I'm like, yeah, and we went on about it, but they think it's cool, and I had one, and some of the parents like our music too, and sometimes I don't know if that's why I got requested, because I got a couple requests this year, but I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but like I had one mom, and she loved us, and she showed her son, which is in my class, the video for Blindly the Blind. He's like, Miss Allison, I really like that video. He said, when are you going to make another one? So I thought that was really cute. And my kids last year, they'd come out and to the family events and stuff too and support it. And, like I had a parent call me one time, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's a parent call. What's going on? And they were like, they're like, can you bring so-and-so a CD so I can get it, I like to pay for it at school or whatever. I'm like, really? They're calling about this? So it's weird to me. It's weird as all get out, but it's still cool in the same way.
Right. Wow. Do you really feel that you need a record label now to break into the music business?
I don't think so much as a record label, but just kind of like these things that help us get, just to get the word out, because we can do so much by ourselves, but if we have, just like interviews and, write-ups about our album and things like that to help us, I mean, if this keeps going like this, I really think that's all we need just to build it up, because I get so worried about, getting signed and, like, somebody wanting to change us and, and it end up, something we're just, it's not us, and I just get really scared about that. So I don't really know, what the future holds, but I know I'll always be making music and putting it out there for our fans, and record deal or not,
Right. Now you're with New Ocean Media. How'd you hook up with them?
Jason Gillespie, the guy who mixed our CD, he put the word out. He said they were really good guys, and we needed to check into them, because we're like we put all this into this new CD, and we really just want to get it out there as much as possible. Do you have any input? And he's like, yeah, New Ocean Media. He's like, a lot of bands that I work with have used it, and I mean we really like it a lot. Doug, he's helped us tremendously. Right.
Now, do you feel Facebook and like Twitter and all these other outlets really help push the band?
I'm huge about Facebook, because I get on and I have a little secret thing I do is where I'll go to bands that are kind of similar to us, like for instance like Lacuna Coil or Hailstorm, and I'll add their friends, and then they're thinking who is this, but I'll say like, hey, I'm Allison, I sing in the band Roses Unread. If you have some time, check out the music. And I don't just add people that I wouldn't think would listen to it, but I know if they like that kind of music,
right,
then they may take a chance and listen to, to our music. And for one thing, it's worked a lot. I've built up our Facebook to 33,000 likes. So,
wow.
And that's just by talking to people over the years. It's crazy, but if you put time into it and you're dedicated to it, you can build it up. It takes a lot of time.
Wow. Now,
and a lot of people followed us from MySpace too, which is really cool, over to Facebook. So.
That's really good. You know, what are your hopes for the band? Like, I mean, you have a set job. I'm sure your husband has a set job. Now, say you got signed and they asked you to go on tour. What happens then?
I mean, honestly, I mean, if it was a good enough deal, I'd probably go because that's what I've always wanted to do. I'd rather just be in a van with stinky boys, I guess, and travel over the world and play to everybody. That's my ultimate dream, you know, signed or not. But it's just, you know, building enough to get there where I, you know, kind of can have some support for myself, you know,
right.
just to make it, you know, to make it by day, I guess. But that's just like, that's our ultimate thing, because there's people all over the world that say, when you coming here, and it's just, you know, just some getting hooked up with a good gig, and it may take that we need some kind of like tour manager or something, some kind of thing to help us go that route, you know?
Right. Now, if you had one venue that would be your ultimate goal, what venue would you like to play?
That's kind of hard. I was thinking I was actually watching a bar rescue the other day, and it was a place called the Abbey, I think.
Right.
They redid it, and that place looked really cool, and I thought that'd be really neat to go to. But I mean, there's been tons of fans, like, you know, come to Michigan, you know, Michigan's a big one for some reason. So I'd like to go somewhere in Michigan and play, just because there's so many people that keep asking about it for us. But I mean, it's just, there's just so many. I mean, there's on the top of my head, I can't really think of one in particular, but, you know, there's a lot of states I'd like to really get to, just because there's so much demand, like, hey, when you guys coming up here, and, you know, it's like, I don't know what to tell them yet, you know, I'm just like, you know, when we get a, you know, good enough gig, we can, you know, do our funding to get there and back, you know, we're down, you know.
Right. Now, what's the feeling like, you know, the first time you had to give an autograph?
It was very weird, because I was like, really, you want this from me? I'm like, I'm not all that special, because I mean, like, I've never been like, I mean, of course I have like the lead singer ego in a way, but it's kind of a different thing, because when somebody, well, like, still to this day, when somebody's like, hey, you did really good, can you sign this for me? My mom, like, she works at the merch booth, so she sells the CDs, like, when we go to shows. She said that I still get, like, this nervous, clueless look every time.
Wow.
And she's like, you don't ever know what to say. She's like, it's kind of like you're starstruck, too, when that happens. I'm like, and I was like, it's like, I just don't, and I can say thank you, but it's still, like, weird to me, because I feel like should I say something else? What should I do? It's like I'm weird, but stop taking compliments, because I'm just like, oh, you know, thanks. And we played Bone Stock, which was in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and it was a huge crowd. And I got off the stage, and I'm like wringing wet with, you know, sweat. It's like it was so hot that day. I think I'd slightly been sick. I had real bad sinus infection. I had to get up there, you know, and sing in this, 100 degrees heat. And I get off the stage, and there is a line just for me to get my autograph, my picture, and I'm like, oh gosh, like I couldn't even see our merch booth. Like one of the fans was like, do you see your merch booth? I'm like, no, there's people like all around it, you know, like buying CDs up there, then bringing them to me. I mean, usually I go to the merch booth to, you know, and I'll, you know, communicate and talk to the fans and stuff, but they were coming to me, and that was like the craziest thing of all. Like, I'll never forget that.
Well, that's very cool.
It's an awesome feeling, though.
Cool. Now, if I came to your show, what can I expect?
We give everything we got when we get up there. I mean, if you pay to get in, or I mean, even took the time to come see us, you know, we're going to give you a good show. We're not the type of band that just, you know, stands there and we try to play perfect. You know, we're kind of willing to hit a couple bad notes just to entertain and have fun, and just, you know, we just get down. You know, it's just a fun atmosphere. I mean, it's like the other day somebody said, I don't really like that heavy music, but I can't quit watching because they're kind of captivating me. Just, you know, just the way we were acting, I guess.
Right.
And I mean, we just have it's a very energetic show.
Cool. Now, what do you do to relax?
Really, like I mean, before shows, it's very weird because I get like this anxious feeling. It's not like nervous at all, but I have like this box I stand on. I call it my diva box because it blows my hair.
Right.
And I'll just kind of sit there on the box and just like close my eyes and just chill. And I'm like, okay, we can do this. We got this. And, you know, we do our little, we just have like a little prayer before we play, and that kind of just gets us in the mood and relaxes us. But I didn't know if you meant like before shows or my free time. I didn't really know.
Either way is good. You know.
Well, in my like free time too, and this sounds crazy, but I like to like make jewelry.
Right.
And that kind of calms me down, and just I don't know, it kind of clears my head. But I sell my jewelry at the merch booth too, and that kind of helps with gas and getting us back and forth, as well as CDs and T-shirts and all that.
Cool. Well, Allison, congratulations on the new self-titled CD.
Yeah, man, we appreciate it.
No problem. Roses Unread, please support this band. Good management, New Ocean Media. Would you like to say anything in conclusion to the fans out there?
Yeah, just keep listening, and we're already working on our fourth CD, and hopefully by sometime next year that'll be out too. We're constantly writing, just because our fans are the ones that drive us to it. I mean, if there was no demand for it, we'd probably just be like, okay, well, we can get this done at any time. But there's just so much demand, and we appreciate it so much, and just thank you. And if anybody new wants to check it out, they can go to our Facebook at www.facebook.com/RosesUnreadBand, unread like a book, and I'll talk to you, make friends with you, and hopefully make a good bond, good friendship. So that's what it's all about.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Brian.